Hi everyone, welcome to cats.com. If you don't know already, this is Hugo and I'm Amanda, Clinical Feline Behaviourist. And tonight's topics is whatever your questions are, basically. He will move in a minute. We've got a great question already, and I thought I would also talk about geriatric cats as well. As you can see, Hugo is now thinking that it's all about him. He always does. So hi everyone and welcome. I'm sure a few more will be, there's a little head bunt, be joining as we go along. SA, good question here. One of your cats doesn't get along with the other two and you're trying to socialise them slowly, but surely, and you're thinking of switching their environment so that they get turned sleeping with me. What are my thoughts? This is a great idea. So in every behavioural plan, if we've got an introduction process going on, it's always a good idea to switch the environments. So say, for example, you've got zone A and zone B where your cats are, swap them around if you can a couple of times a day, because then they don't get habituated or used to their own environment, their own territory. And then if the other cat goes into that territory, you could have war zone. So it's a great idea. And then also their scents will intermingle. And if I don't know how you're separating it, but double baby gates stacked on top of one another are really, really good, because then they can see each other. They're not behind a mesh barrier, because sometimes, although mesh barriers can seem like a good idea, it can actually be obstructive because the cats can look distorted either side of them. So I find it's a much better idea to have the stacked baby gates, or a large dog gate, but obviously it needs to have, you can have the mesh on top of that, but you need to have something so that the cats can't jump over. So rather than feeding either side of the gate, it's a good idea to have a positive enrichment idea. So maybe licky mats either side of the gate with a yogurt treat or any pate or anything like that. So it's not a substantial meal, it's just a positive interaction that they're having when they come in the vicinity of the gate. So I hope that helps, SA, and come back another time on our next Cat Chat Tuesday, which Emerald did say should be Tuesday as in the chew, and we've got to send her cat some treats because she's titled that. Thank you also to Beverly, who's my moderator tonight. She's going to keep everybody in check. Not that I'm sure you need keeping in check. You'll all be a marvellous bunch, but keep those questions coming in. So don't be shy, because the live is only as good as the questions that you give me. So then hopefully I can answer. If I don't know the answer to the question, I'll let you know and I'll find out for you next time. Now, next time, I think it's the Tuesday around the 28th, 29th of October. So if anyone, Beverly, if you can just let me know, is it the 29th? That's a Tuesday, but it'll be at 6 o'clock that time, and it's going to be a spooky spectacular, and we're going to be talking everything myths and magic, and black cats included. So if anyone's got a black cat, or you know anybody who has got a black cat and they think it might be interesting, do cats see spirits? Are cats blessed with these mythical powers? That do they have 9 lives? This is going to be some of the questions that we'll be looking to answer. Yes, it's the 29th, so that's brilliant. So 29th of October, I will do a little thumbnail. What I wanted to talk about actually was our senior members. So the geriatric cats, the super seniors, how do we care for them once they get to a certain age? You may already have a cat that is aging gracefully, but suddenly you notice that perhaps something's changed. Something very, very small has changed, and they're perhaps not jumping up on the sofa as much as they used to. We just let Hugo out. That maybe they're not eating as much. It could be that they're hiding, missing the litter tray. All these things are indicative of maybe a behavioural problem, but also it could be something that is coexisting with a behavioural problem. So First thing is it's really important to have vet checks annually, especially as they get older, even 6 monthly. I know that can be costly, but the chances then of you finding any other underlying health conditions are going to be, you can intervene much, much quicker, and it's going to be better for your cats ultimately, and it may end up costing you less in the long run. So top tip is always get your cat vet checked more regularly as they age. We're approaching winter. Well, we are here. It depends where you are. If you're in warmer climes, then you're very, very lucky, wherever you are in the world. If cold isn't an issue for you, then it won't be for your cat. You've got the other aspect, which I've talked about before, of how to keep your cat cool. But here in the UK, and obviously I know certain parts of America, Canada, your cat's going to be feeling chilly very soon. So has anyone got one of these? Do you use them? Pop your comments in the chat box. This is a microwavable heat pad. Great, because then you're not worrying about electricity or anything. It just goes into your microwave, and that's a great way to keep your senior cats warmer in the winter months. And these stay warm for about 8 hours, believe it or not. If you're cold, your cat is going to be cold too. So don't forget, they are descendants from desert creatures. So they do like a warmer temperature. You perhaps noticed if there's a tiny bit of sun that was coming through your window, your cat is going to be sitting in that spot. I'll come back to other geriatric tips in a minute, because I've got another question from VP. Hi, welcome along. Can one cat in the household live happily? I've had one cat for 1.5 years and I'm afraid she's lonely. There's always people in the house though, but people aren't cats. Great question. You have the best questions on this channel. Yeah, cats can live very happily on their own. Per se, they are solitary creatures, and the way to tell if she's lonely is she seeking out your company a lot more? Is she over clingy? Is she looking out to see if she can find other cats in the neighborhood to hang out with? Are there any behavioral issues? If there aren't any, and you're providing lots of enrichment for it in the home, and that could be anything from cat TV, wands play, forage feeders. There's so many things, but as long as you've got a routine and a predictable routine of play, and you keep to that, I'm sure your cat will be fine. There's many cats that live singularly very, very happy lives, and sometimes I get the other side of that, where somebody will have another cat thinking that their cat was lonely, and then it ends up all going terribly wrong, and in fact their cat wasn't lonely at all. So unless you feel, due to her behavior, that she's lonely, I perhaps would leave it alone, and just make sure you're doing all the enriching her life as much as you can. Think about different ways that you can engage with her feeding. I don't know whether you've watched any of my videos before, but I'm always saying bin the bowl, get rid of a bowl. And there's I've got lots of different things I can show you here, different ways that you can feed that. I'm a real advocate for getting your cat to forage and use the brain and use that predatory instinct, so that they really enjoy their food, and it's a bit of a hunting experience. It's not just there's your tea. So hope that's helped, and thank you for the question. Hi, Brightstone thinkers. How long can a cat live without vaccination? It's a good question. It's bordering on medical, so I have to be really careful how I answer this, because it is only behavioural questions. But how long can cats live? Statistically, cats that are indoor cats live longer, because obviously they haven't got the predators that are outside, because obviously cats are prey too. So depending where you live, there will be predators outside. Cars, traffic, that can also end their life, as can infectious diseases and so on. So statistically, your indoor cats are going to live longer. The average age for a cat is around 13 years, but there have been cats that live up to 27, 30. They're obviously the extreme and very rare. I had one of my cats live till he was 23, And it was an amazing age. I mean, Basil, who is my geriatric boy, he's actually asleep down here. He's 17, and I've noticed a big slowdown in him now. And he's a indoor, goes out with supervision. But I've noticed a big difference with him. So regarding the vaccination, that's something that you would have to take up with your vet. But all I can say is if they're an outdoor cat and they're not vaccinated, then they're more likely to get they come into contact with more infectious diseases, so that might shorten the lifespan. So thank you for asking that. Renee, hello. You've got a 7-year-old Calico. When you leave the house, she goes into your closet and pulls out a bedroom slipper and drags it to another room. None of my other kitties have ever done this. Why is she doing this? I've seen videos of cats doing this. It's really, really sweet. It does tend to be more females, but it could be that that's a comforting thing for her. So she's obviously learned when you go out, she wants to replace something, and she's obviously getting a dopamine hit, and it makes her feel good when she's going and getting this slipper. Might be that it's your slipper, it'll be heavily scented of you. So I think it's a reassurance thing why she's doing that. But it's really, really sweet. So it'd be interesting. Is she really bonded to you as well? I'd be interested to know that, Renee. And Beverly has asked, how do we encourage geriatrics to eat if they don't have teeth anymore and just eat the jelly and the gravy of the food? Great question, BD. As luck would have it, I don't know whether you guys have got this in the States. I'm sure you have. It's like a ground chicken. I did this last time. I got it all over the keyboard. Warming food, that's another good one. So feeding it at room temperature or a little bit warmer, because cats eat with their noses, not literally, but it's their nose, their olfactory system, that drives them to feel hungry and to want to eat something. So warming it is really good. Mashing it up is another thing. If you can, the sprinkles, the food toppers, that's another. It's a palatability enhancer, but it's a protein, and it's not filled with nasties, because obviously there's other things that you can put on your food that I wouldn't necessarily recommend, especially for senior cats. Another great one is Proplan Fortiflora. This is a great thing to have. It comes in little sachets. It's a prebiotic, and that will really stimulate the appetite of a cat. Bone broth is something else that you can. They do it in lots of different flavors. Bone broth is really, really good to put on top of your regular food as well. So I hope that helps. VP, you are very welcome. Faze, hello. My cat suddenly attacked my brother earlier. He never did this. I think what you're saying is he hasn't done it before. There's obviously a reason why he's done that. So what was your brother doing before the attack? Was your cat looking out of the window and seeing another cat? Was it a redirected aggression? Give me a bit more information, and hopefully I can answer that more for you. Hi, Livla. How do you stop your cat meowing loudly at all hours of the night? I play with and feed him before bed. I had snacks around him for him to forage at night. I ignore him when he meows. You haven't slept in weeks. This is going to sound like a really flippant answer. I'm really, really sorry in advance. Get yourself some really good earphones, right? Put them in, and if you can, shut the door. Because what your cat is doing, your cat is training you to respond. So the meowing, the vocalization, if he's only doing it at night and he's not a super senior, because obviously they can get very disorientated at night and as they go into cognitive decline. So if he's not a senior cat and he's vocalizing at night, he's doing it just as attention seeking. If you've got your predictable bedtime routine, I would suggest what you're doing is spot on. If you can shut him into another room and create a kitty creche. Now, this sounds nicer for us because what I find is cat parents don't like the thought of shutting their cat away. But if you give it a nice label and call it a kitty creche, it actually sounds like you're doing them a favour and putting them in a really nice environment. You're spot on with the forage feeders and feeding before bed. Play before food, that's another great point. How are you feeding? Are you just doing the whole bowl thing? Think about other ways. Mash into licky mats. I came across this the other day. So this is a licky mat, but it's a bowl. No pudding. This is pudding. There's nothing in there for you. But that's great because you can mash the food into that. And although it's a bowl, they have to work at it because you can mash it into there. So that's a good way of, if it's wet. And this one as well, the Phoebe and dog, you think there's something in there for you. So that might be worth trying as well. And then literally, it's like control crying for a baby. If you've ever had a baby, and anybody's had babies that scream through the night, as long as you know that they've got everything they need, all their welfare needs are being met, you just ignore it. And it normally takes about 7 to 10 days. You can try supporting the environment with some pet remedy, and they do have that over in the States. I don't know whether you can see the boxes over there. That's your pet remedy, and this is what it looks like. This is the dry shampoo. That's not relevant to you, but that's got a cat-astraphe base of valerian, vetiver, and clary sage. It's very calming. You could use a plug-in device as well. You could even pop some anxetane or some other calming L-theanine or something like that. I'll probably talk about that later because I'm sure it'll come up. But anything like that to reduce any anxiety might help. And those things, incidentally, for the lady with the cat with the slipper, those plug-in devices or the spray would really, really help as well. And asking your Echo device, this is for both of you, if you've got an Echo device, to ask it to play Pet Buddy overnight. You can put it into daycare mode, which sounds contradictory because it's the night time, but it'll just keep going through regular household noises, calming music, and so on. So that's something else that you can put on as well to help. Oh, thanks, Bev. Send some hearts. Yeah, give me some likes. That's really, really good. Midnight coffee. How to stop cats eating plants. I've just bought my first plant, non-toxic, to cats last night and woke up to 2 leaves. That's really good. If you go over to if any of you are on TikTok, I've got a video just on cats and plants, and this is okay. How do you have plants and cats? You either fake it and then they won't chew it. Pudding here is a real plant chewer. So I've got a spider plant hanging up, but I've had to hang it up because she will eat it. Great thing to do is make sure that you've got cat grass on the grow. That's really, really good because it's essential for your cats to eat grass, especially if they're indoors. So growing cat grass is really, really good for them. The non-toxic plants, that is that one there, that is a Hoya, a crinkly Hoya. That's non-toxic to cats, and they don't seem to like that, which is quite good. So maybe get yourself a crinkly Hoya. What plants have you had in there? Because some are really palatable to cats, but if in doubt, be careful what plants you have and just fake it. Some of these fake ones are amazing now. Okay, we've got Jersey Nate. Is it Jersey Nate? My cat likes to get petted like a dog. She's 10 years old and is very talkative and demanding for her pets. That's lovely. Does she like to be, when you say petted like a dog, does she like to be patted on a back by a tail? Because cats, you see, I'm just doing that now. Pudding's very sensitive there. Some cats are. And every cat has got their own tolerance of the level of affection that they want to receive from you as their cat parent. So think about that. It's great for your cat. You could probably come across another cat and that other cat would not want to be petted like that at all, but it's great that you've got that relationship with your cat. Beanie, hello. When cats bully other cats, how to stop the bullying? It's really difficult. You've got to make sure that your resources are plentiful. So if you've got 2 cats, you need to have at least 2 of everything. So then they're not resource guarding, they're not fighting over the same thing. Cats can even fall out over you as their caregiver because they want your attention. So that's really important, to make sure the resources are adequate, and try and give them their own space. If you can, intervene. So if you can see, say for example, that the eyes suddenly narrow and they become, you can tell they've got that intention that they want to go and chase another cat, if you can intercept it with a distraction, then that limits obviously the type of conflict that you're going to have. So making sure that you feed them separately as well is really good, because feeding cats together can really induce a lot of conflict, believe it or not. So giving them their own time, playing with them individually as well, is really good. This wonderful toy here is a cable tie, and it's one of my DIY toys. And you know, cats like the springies. There's the springy here, but these, they absolutely go crazy for these. So Mercury Queen, by the way, you love Fortiflora, helps very much. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay. Hopefully I've answered that. Renee, she and I are very, very bonded. Oh, that's right, Renee, with your cat with the slipper. You adopted her the day before COVID. Right, okay. So I would, if you've got an Amazon Echo device, I would use Pet Buddy, and every time you go out, set that to play daycare mode. Thanks for the hearts, guys. Thank you very much. And use the Pet Remedy. You have got it over in the States. I haven't asked where you're all from. Let me know where you're all from. Pet Remedy is around $26 if you're in the States. Use that, and also use a synthetic pheromone as well. And then if you want to give us some Oxetane or L-theanine, you can get this from Amazon and just sprinkle that onto a wet food, and that will help reduce her anxiety as well. But that's why she's doing it, because she wants your smell around, and that's a comforter for her. You know, like some cats need and tread, they do that, they get comfort from doing that. So that's how she's getting her comfort. You were going to guess that was Pudding's little snoot. It is Pudding's little snoot. There you go. There's Pudding. She's so sweet. Miss Bryan, she may have anxiety separation. Yeah, that's it. Livla, you're in the UK, so you'll look up Pet Remedy. If you go on to, I've got a professional discount for it. So if you want to drop me a message in this chat later on, you know, when the video closes, then I'll give you the discount code for it. And that gives you free postage as well, I think. So when you do that, go for a diffuser, and there's one up there, I don't know whether you can see it, it's, where am I, that's the kitten calming pack, it's that one there, and it's called Party Survival Kit, and it's got some wipes in, which are that. It's got a spray, which is that, but a bit smaller, and then it's got the plug-in device, which is that. And you can't interchange these with your synthetic pheromones either, because it burns at a higher temperature, so don't be tempted to do that. Okay. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Bev's just put the link to my TikTok account on there. So Mercury Queen, your cat doesn't want you to go to work. When you try to go out, he literally attacks your ankles. He's not alone in the home. Mum's always with him. Any advice to stop that behavior? If you can prevent it, a distraction before you walk through the door, it will prevent the rehearsal, which will actually then, it will just keep happening, because he's learned that that's what he does every time. So if you can prevent it, so what I would do is get said licky mats, and get some licky licks, yogurt, tuna, pate, whatever, on there, smidge it all in, and give that to him before you walk out of the door, and put it in a room that's quite away from the door. Hopefully he'll be engaged in licking that, and he'll forget about you going out through the door. So you've got to intercept this behavior and stop it from happening in the first place. So I hope that's okay. Calathea medallion is the plant you have. Midnight coffee. I'm not sure about that one. I know what the calatheas are like. They're really hard to grow, but clearly it's very tasty. And I'm not totally sure that all of the calatheas are non-toxic because they're a really broad family. So obviously you've done your research. I don't know. I've not heard of that one, but definitely don't get that again. And get something that they're not going to like. So I'm just trying to think what else I've got that's non-toxic, but they don't like eating. And I have to be honest, I think it's only that Hoya that is non-toxic that they don't like. So the rest are all plastic or faux. That's a nicer way to say plastic, isn't it? Tutty Tutty, hello. I remember your handle from last time. Thanks for joining again. Why do cats chew plastic? Can you give cats peanut butter a little bit? Why do cats sometimes stop eating for days? Wow, lots of questions. Why do cats chew plastic? They will chew because they're bored, because they're attracted to the oils, the petrol or whatever has made the plastic. So that could be something. I would where's that my little plastic cover? If you can get those plastic covers, this is just obviously a segment of one. You put your wires through there. Again, prevention's really good because if you can stop a cat doing something, the less it's going to rehearse it, then it's likely to do it. Give them other things, matatabi sticks or silver vine. Get these to chew. Cardboard boxes are good to chew. Anything else to get your cat to chew on those rather than the wires would be good things, so it's not rehearsing that behavior. Next part of the question, peanut butter. No, I wouldn't give peanut butter because it's got other chemicals in there. It's not just regular peanut butter. And they think, would a cat eat peanuts in the wild? And no, it wouldn't. So some I think some peanut butter has got coconut oil in, and cats can have a little bit of coconut oil, but it's obviously very, very calorific. So I would steer clear of it. I mean, it's like saying, can you give a cat crisps? Sometimes a cat will like the taste of a crisp because it's all salt in it, but it's not necessarily good to give your cat crisps. So there are lots of other things that you could give your cats. You could give your cats cucumber. You could give your cats melon if they'll eat it. So you can give your cat a varied diet. I'd steer away from the peanut butter though, I think, because I'd be thinking what else is in there. So stick to a specific, a species specific diet if you can. And why do cats sometimes stop eating for days? If you live in a warm country, then cats don't tend to eat a lot when they are warmer. And bear in mind their tummies are only the size of a mouse. That's lucky, isn't it? So they don't need big meals. And very often cat parents will just give them 2 meals a day, and if it's a sachet or something, that's quite a lot because that's a family of mice. It's not just one mouse. So I would think of giving your cat smaller, more frequent meals if that's possible. If you're out at work, then you could consider putting them in a timed feeder. And again, with a timed feeder, you could always chop one of those up and mash it in, so they're still getting the tactile sort of texture of licking in the timed feeder. You could these are quite good. I don't know whether you've ever seen these ones. So this has different inserts, so you could actually mush wet food in there as well. So just small portions, again, makes it a little bit more interesting. Again, if it's boredom, just there's the bowl. Make it hunt for its food. That's something else that you do. Obviously, if it's inappetent for an extended period of time, then we should never ignore inappetence in cats because it could be a sign that there's something else going on. So at that point, it's vet check. Make sure that your cat is hydrated at least. Try feeding something, chicken boiled chicken, just shredded, something like that, to try and get their appetite going again. You could try the toppers, 40 flora, as I've mentioned before, other probiotics. But if you're worried, then obviously go to your vets. But I think it's quite normal sometimes that they just go off the food. Sometimes it could be that if you're feeding the same food all the time, they get bored of it, or there's batch inconsistency. You know, we've all had that thing, haven't we, where your cat finally eats something and you think, oh great, I'm going to buy this on offer, I'm going to buy it in bulk. So you buy 40 or 50 pouches or tins or whatever, and you open it and the cat takes one sniff and goes, no thank you. That's because there's no batch consistency with a lot of products, so that's something to be mindful of, and that's why it happens. So a good way to avoid that is to regularly switch your food every day, so that your cat is getting lots of a wide variety of food, not from one particular source or supplier, because then if ever that supplier suddenly goes out of business, or there's a shortage or a recall, your cat has got a diverse palate, and its gastric system is used to accepting lots of different foods, so you won't get the gastric upset. So that's another thing to think about as well. Hope that helps. Yeah, midnight coffee. Yeah, have a look at them they're all on my TikTok videos. They're all in playlists. So if you want to ask a question, or you've got an issue with your cat urinating outside of the tray, or an older cat, or bereavement, or anything like that, they're all in playlists if you look at them on the top there. So hi Thorn. Now you guys get me with these abbreviations. Is that NC? What is NC? I am getting better with these, I promise I am. But every time someone will go, hi from, I know what LA is, or NY, I know what they are, but I don't know what NC is. Do let me know. What breeds of cat are good for train for taking out for a walk? Any cat, as long as you start early enough. And again, I've done training videos on this. So it's important, if you want to train your cat to harness, not just to go, oh, there you go, it's put it on it and walk it. It doesn't happen like that. So first of all, say this grooming pad is a harness. I sometimes bring a harness up with me, but say it's a harness, you would what I would do is get your cat to make friends with the harness. So load it up with some treats. So literally you put some treats on there, and your cat would come up and think, oh, this object here is non-threatening, it's very friendly, it's very non-threatening anyway, and then they'll eat the treats. And then once you've got no negative interactions with that, and it's positive interactions, then I would start to just drape it on them, not done it up or anything like that, for a few seconds at a time, and build that up, to then going into doing it up, leaving it on, building it up minutes at a time, to eventually that you have a cat that is walking around with no opposition reflex whatsoever to a harness in the home. And then you can then attach the lead, let them walk around with the lead on. And then it's a good idea, if you're taking them outside, or you want to then get them used to the pressure of the leash, the lead, have something, I'm waving this about, but have anything like, I've used bamboo before now, because that's really leafy and you get a good handle on it, and or even a teaser, and you're waving it and you're keeping the cat moving. If the cat stands still, it's going to go backwards, and if it's going backwards, it's not yet feeling comfortable with the harness. So you just have to take a lot of time and then keep the cat moving. Bengals traditionally are really good in harness. I think that's because a lot of people, because they're an active cat, they tend to encourage them to be harness trained, as are Sphinx. Maine Coons, again, great. So I don't think there's any cat really, as long as it's a more active breed. I think if you've got something like a British short hair that tends to be a more cobby, lazy cat, or maybe even a more sedentary genetic trait of breed of cats, then they're probably going to be less inclined to want to be more active. But what are you thinking of? Have you got a current breed at the moment? But your domestics, there, I mean, there's videos of Basil, my little moggie, and he just loves going on his harness, and even Noodle will. I've attached a little tag on my harness, so when I shake it, it rattles. So now they come running because they want the harness on, because they want to go out. So that just, and I just took my time. Don't put yourself or any pressure on your cat, and that'll be great. Oh, I'm loving these hearts. Are you sure this isn't you, Beverly? Just knocking all the hearts on there. Calatheas are my favourite. You've got a huge collection, but thankfully your cat leaves them alone. Yeah, the thing with Calatheas, isn't it right that if you move them and you put them in a drafty place or something, they can suddenly flop or something like that. So I've got a room in my house that is just full of plants, and have got some Calatheas in there. I forgot to water it the other day, and it was like it was literally saying prayers. But the cats don't go in there. Hi Siobhan, do cats catch fleas easily? Again, right after treatment. My cat has had treatment but still itching. So basically the flea cycle will still carry on after you've treated your cat. So say you've just given your cat a flea treatment because you've found fleas, or it's regular routine treatment or whatever. The eggs are still going to be hatching out, and it's only when the flea bites that then it will die. So that's why it's important to keep making sure that you're washing the bedding often as you can, and hoovering all the time. We had I was very stupid. I bought a hedgehog in that wasn't very well, and I put it in one of the rooms in my house, and obviously then all the cats got fleas, and it was horrendous. It took me about 6 months to get rid of them, and they're all treated, but it obviously the fleas just hop off in the environment. And if you've got a centrally heated home, there's no season where it's not flea season. So it's I think I used Indirex in the end, that spray that's really good in the home. So the environment is just as important to treat from your cat. So your cat will carry on scratching for a while. Just check that it hasn't got something called flea allergy dermatitis as well, because sometimes they can get an irritation. So excuse me, I've got a runny nose. It's that cold here. So I hope that helps. Yeah, but don't, if you've put a flea treatment on, don't think it isn't working and then go and put another flea treatment on. Wait for the time, the 4 or 6 weeks that it says, and I think your best defense is check with the vet if it is flea allergy dermatitis. It looks a bit like dandruffy, and it can be quite scabby. So the vet can help out there, definitely. Hi, building skyscrapers. Is that what you do? You actually build skyscrapers? How can I stop my 12-year-old from chewing cords? You've got plastic looms over most, so you've got that, but she doesn't get shot, but she's still worried about it if she happens when it's almost time to eat. So my guess is that she's actually put a link with her chewing that and you giving her food. So she thinks she's trained you. And has she trained you? Has she started eating cords and then you've gone, oh, she must be hungry, or I'll give her something else to eat to stop her, and then she's actually put 2 and 2 together and come up with a dish of food. It could be. So what I would do, play, say for example at 10 p.m. you feed her and she starts chewing a cord predictably at 9:45 to 10. At 9:30 or 9:20, excuse me, I would start playing with her, and put some forage mats out as well. So she likes chewing. So I know BD saw me do this at the Cat Show Live. So this is another free toy. So you get your kibble or get your treats or whatever in there. Obviously, you can't put wet food in there. And just have this loaded up ready that you can give her as a distraction to stop her chewing the cords before you feed her. and then have a bit of play as well. Wand play, laser play, anything. You can bring out one of these. It's called I think it's called Mad Scientist or something. It goes on a weighted base, and you can put your treats in there, and then the cat learns that it has to rotate. So something like bringing different things out, different toys out for them, would really, really help. And I think that might help her stop. If you give her matatabi sticks, get some of these. If you're building skyscrapers, I'm sure you've got some of these, what they call cable ties. Chuck some of those around for her. Get her moving. That might be good. Oh, Totty, is it Totty Touch? No, my eyes are terrible. I've got my glasses, but I haven't put them on. Nova Scotia, Canada. Oh, right, okay. Thank you for that. See, I'll need to write all of these down. Lovely kitty. San Diego. Oh, okay, this is where you're all from. Okay. Oh my goodness. Spiky Potato. Where do people come up with these names from? They're absolutely fantastic. Why do they sometimes just slap each other without any reason? Usually the younger one slaps the older one for no reason. She could just be drinking water or passing by and she gets a paw in the head. No major fights. It's hilarious, isn't it? Can you imagine if we just walked up to somebody, you just saw them in your kitchen, you just went like that? It's just an endearing quality that cats do. It's a communication that they have with each other. Sometimes it can be, get out my way. This is my water. You're in my way. Or it could be, I want to play. I'm here. Let's hang out. It's not always a negative thing. And two of my Bengals have massive boxing fights, and they'll just go up to one another. And you go too. They just have major boxing sessions, and it's just communication. So don't be concerned about it. Honestly, and don't try and interrupt it unless it's getting really, really savage and they're pulling chunks out of each other. But you say it doesn't lead to a fight, then don't worry, because it's communication, and they should be allowed to communicate without us anthropomorphizing it, which means we shouldn't project how we perceive we should behave as, or they should behave as humans, because they're not. They're cats. So let cats be cats, and just smile and walk away, because I think it's really, really funny. Is the best option to help a cat in a multi-household to lose weight to feed them at separate times? Goose likes to hoover Vesper's food, but he needs to go on a little diet. Poor Goose. Try the satiety types of food, so that they have more bulking agent. Oh, Hugo needs to go on a diet as well. Have more bulking agents in it. And if you could get those feeders, that are chipped, so that only one cat can get into that particular food, but then it sort of means that they're not foraging. So it might be a good idea if, say, for example, you playing with Goose while Vesper's eating, feed him in another room and do that. So and reduce the food very, very slowly, because it can cause major problems if you suddenly reduce it really, really quickly. So also go by body score, body condition. Don't just go by weight, because how can you have a Maine Coon that should be 4 kilograms? I mean, they will have the breed ratios, but generally there's cobby cats and there's not cobby cats. So yeah, just and also the puzzle feeders, getting walking about and feeding little and often. I think that'll help, but feed them separately, Bev. I think that's going to help. San Diego, Renee, is it nice and warm? Anywhere's going to be warmer than here. We've had the most awful floods. I mean, nothing like they've had in Poland, but it's been terrible, hasn't it, for people? Spiky Potato, my cat goes wild for pistachios and digestive biscuits. She tries to climb onto my plate. That's hilarious. I will be honest. Basil has a little thing for prawn crackers, and I do give him a little bit occasionally. Yeah, when I have a cheeky Chinese, he likes a prawn cracker, and I think that's because when he was a kitten, Clearly used to have a lot of takeaways then, and he used to just go and help himself to the prawn crackers, and he will have a digestive biscuit if there's one hanging around. You just have to be careful that, you know, I'm joking about this now, but you just have to be careful there's no chocolate on it, because that's really toxic for cats and dogs. So, and we should all be mindful about garlic and onion and content in things as well. But I didn't know cats could eat pistachios, so there you go. I've learned something else today. Thanks, Spiky Potato. Rice Krispies, rice snaps, and that's the thing. I love the way that everything is has a different name as well. It's like, it is like learning a different language, and you guys must be listening to me, and you must struggle to understand what I'm on about sometimes. Um, Spiky Potato, full of secret sugars and milk, not so great for his tummy. He's also had a partial lick of a crisp and elite cake. Oh dear. Um, your tabby, Erica, walks great on a leash and a harness. That's amazing. So it just goes to show it's not breed specific. It's just how you get your cat used to a positive experience, and they'll love going out on a harness. Livela's asking how often. Oh, you're asking how often I walk my cats. Well, it's down to good weather, really, but you may be asking Erica. So, Erica, you answer that question as well. I walk my cats maybe once a week, if the weather is okay, but generally Basil will free roam in the garden now because he's so old. He can't get anywhere. And who's that's just jumped? Oh, it's Hugo. And Noodle, he'll go out as well. I mean, they would come on, jump up, come on, jump up. He did go out a lot more in the summer, because it was, I think we had 2 days of summer in the UK this year. You're welcome, Siobhan. Oh, here we go. Jens, I've noticed my cat coughing in the last couple of days. What can it be? That's a great question. I'm again bordering up. Well, it is medical, so I'm going to answer this in my layperson's opinion. It could be hairball. If it continues, then I would get it checked out with the vet, because sometimes asthma in cats can go undiagnosed. So it's really, really important. If it's got a hairball, then there's this Gimcat's malt extract paste. That's really, really good to get rid of, to help hairballs come up, as is salmon oil. Can you see that? So that's another, and that's a great thing for geriatrics to have as well as a supplement in their meal times, because it's great for their cognitive health, the bones, the skin, and the coat. So for the lady with whose cat has had fleas, then consider putting some salmon oil into your cat's food as well, and that's really going to help the skin recover. So yeah, I would get your cat vet checked if it's still coughing and it's not a fur ball, because cats, especially, well, any cat can get a fur ball, and it sounds awful. Could even be something stuck in its throat, you know. So don't hang around too long. If it's still coughing, then please take your cat along to the vet, and best of luck there. Okay. Yeah, Bev's just said, yeah, it might be a vet question. Yeah. Oh, you brought home a hedgie. Yeah, I did. So I had my garden hedgehog proofed. So the Hedgehog Association, or whatever they're called, here in the UK, came and checked it all out, and it was completely hedgehog proof. So then I would have soft that's Hugo's fur. Can you see it floating around? I'd have hedgehogs brought to me from rescues, and then they could roam free in my garden. And I used to feed them obviously every day, and they had their own little hedgehoggy boxes to go into, and they were safe. So I had albino ones, I had ones with 3 legs, ones with no eyes. So basically, any hedgehog that couldn't have a soft release out out back into the wild would come into my garden, and I'd have them there. So, and they are just the most amazing little creatures. And I don't know whether you've ever heard them call, but they have very distinctive noises. They almost sound like a bird, a really high pitched squeak, obviously at night. And we used to hear them squeaking and snuffling around, and oh, they were just so lovely the way they all interacted with one another. So that's why I had hedges, but I haven't got any anymore. I'm just too busy. I've got chickens, and they're wandering about, and I like to have frogs as well. So I can't have the frogs and the hedges, because the hedges will eat the frogs. Gator, you've gone to 2 different vets for your cat, for your elders overgrooming, but no one seems to have a concrete resolution. We've tried that diet, the treat, thyroid testing. Any ideas? Thanks. Okay, so you've got a senior cat that's overgrooming. It could be cognitive decline. It could be boredom. It could be a dietary issue. I think it's a really high percentage. I think it's something like 80% of skin allergies and overgrooming can be caused by an allergen in the food. So I'd switch to a hydrolyzed diet, and take something away from or if you don't want to go down the hydrolyzed diet route, don't feed chicken or don't feed fish, and see if that and do a trial like that. Has the vet put your cat on a pain trial? Is it pain? Because sometimes cats can overgroom to compensate for pain, if it's arthritic or something like that. It could be anxiety related. Again, it could be cognitive decline. Cognitive decline, salmon oil is really good. There's a supplement called Activate. I'm going to put that in the chat because it's spelt in a funny way. There you go, Activate supplement. So that helps brain health. So that might help as well. Thinking about different ways you can actually interrupt that behaviour. I guess if you've had it vet checked, it's got no topical issues, as in no skin issues like that. Try and give them something to do. So for geriatrics, I'm here again with these snuffle mats, but this is great for a senior cat. Load the food up with there. You can spray it with a bit of pet remedy. Use some pet remedy spray for sure. Pet remedy diffuser. Get a synthetic pheromone plug-in, something like Fellaway or Comfort Zone, and put food in here. So think about the time that your cat has got in its day. How much is it overgrooming? You need to be able to intercept that really and give it something else to think about rather than overgrooming. Anxetane is really good. Can you get that in the States? Yeah, you can. $27 in the States. That is it's a pharmaceutical. It's an amino acid. 1 tablet or half a tablet twice a day reduces anxiety, and it works in a similar way as an SSRI. So it just helps regulate the serotonin in the brain. So it really, and they've done a lot of studies on this, on using L-theanine in shelter cats and cats in, anxious cats in people's homes. And once they have this dose, it really does reduce the stress. So have a look at the differentials there. It could be stress, it could be boredom, it could be pain. But then you think that the vet has ruled out pain. It could be the food. So I'd look at those things, and I really hope that gets fixed for you, or certainly for your cat, because it's really, really difficult to stop that behaviour. You just have to try and interrupt it, and give them something else to do. So how can I get a cat's collar back on? Toy collector of Seville. I don't know what you mean there, if I'm being honest. How do you get a cat's collar back on? How did you get it on in the first place? Would you just clip it on? Some cats don't wear collars. It's mandatory now in this country for cats to be chipped. So a lot of cats aren't wearing collars. Some cats wear trackers. Others wear the Elizabethan collars, which are like a ruffle. They're brightly coloured and they alert the birds and the prey that the cats are around, but it's a lot more comfortable for the cats to wear them. Gator, could it be? He, she, yeah, spiky potato, yeah, that's definitely a differential there, as we talked about. Hi, Jennifer. One of your cats has very dry skin with dandruff. Vet suggested vitamin E, but it doesn't help. Any suggestions? Yeah, sure. Salmon oil. It's amazing, this is. So if you look for that, you can get that on Amazon. This is also good. You get that on Amazon. So that's Easy Pill Resolving. So that is it's meant for obviously arthritic, but it's got the omega and the different supplements in there for great skin. There's a lot of other things. There's lucillin. What's lucillin? I'm not sure if you can get that in the States. I will have to check that, but that's really, really good for skin conditions as well. But again, look at the diet. Dry skin with dandruff, making sure that you're grooming. So these are really good. This is a Pet Remedy massager. It's so gentle, and Pet Remedy do this foam shampoo. I mean, I love the smell of Pet Remedy, but I haven't got a cat here now, but you can see it's really, really foamy. And then you do that, and then you groom your cat, and your cat's getting a nice massage, and it's also getting the aromatic calming treatment with that is the foaming quick wash. So when Hugo walks in, I'll just stroke his tail and he'll get bit of a quick wash on his tail. So try that, salmon oil. Look at the diet. Oh, there he is. He's just come in. He's just smelt it. There you go. Meow. It's on his tail now. Building skyscrapers. She certainly knows how it gets our attention, but usually in the way of a shout. Yeah, to cut it out. It does happen randomly though. Maybe just out of boredom, midday. Anyway, thanks. Yeah, absolutely. You see, the thing is, you're giving your cat attention, and whether it's "Oi, stop doing that," that's still attention. So the cat has got what it wanted to do. So sometimes you even have a cat that will, I was talking to somebody yesterday about this, a cat that will just walk up to a wall, stare at them and spray. And that is attention seeking behavior. So try and increase the amount of enrichment and the interaction that you're having with your cat. But once you start, you've got to carry it on. Okay. So even if it's short bursts of interaction, it doesn't have to be 20, 30 minutes, just a predictable. If you start it, carry it on. Livia said, I wouldn't risk geraniums if your cat chews. I've obviously missed something about a geranium there. I do apologise. Yeah, absolutely. If your cat chews plants, don't have any plants unless you know that they are 100% non-toxic. And hopefully everybody here now, all of you know about lilies being really toxic, and they are fatal for cats. So if you just remember one thing for tonight, go and tell everybody, all your cat friends, that lilies are toxic. People have bouquets and things. There's always a lily in there, and and the cats, for some reason, they like the leaves. It's the whole plant that's toxic, and it's just not worth it. Do a bit of research, go onto Dr. Google and find out what plants are safe for your cats. You'd be amazed. So I hope that helps, Skyscraper. I really do. Hi, Nancy. How do you get your 4-year-old to stop biting when you go to pet a head? You've had her for 2 years and she still does it. She's a Calico. Thank you. You're very welcome, Nancy. What I would do is not pet her head, because she's learned that she obviously doesn't like that. Some cats, I watched a TikTok today. I don't know whether you saw it. Just somebody tagged me in it, and this woman is doing a TikTok video. Why doesn't my cat like to be cuddled? And it was all fast forward, and it looked a bit horrific actually. And the cat clearly did not want to be hugged. It did not want to have that interaction with its guardian. So Nancy, I think your cat, for whatever reason, has got a negative association with you petting her on her head. It may be that she feels vulnerable. there. What I'd suggest is respect her space, and instead of going on top of her head, go offer like a finger like that. I haven't got a cat here to show you, but literally finger and literally just rub onto her jawline, and that might be as much as she wants. You'll know if you lift a finger to a cat, and again, Pet Remedy's brilliant. You can just put it on your hand, on your finger like that, and they'll reach to smell it. And as they do that, it's almost like you asking permission. Is it okay? Can I fuss you? And then they should engage and rub their face along your finger. And if they do, that's accepting. That's great. That's what they wanted. And leave it at that. So don't do that, because each time you fuss it on her head and she bites, again, I've said the word rehearsal quite a few times tonight, it allows her to keep rehearsing that behavior, and then it becomes habitual. So come back next time, Nancy, and let me know if that's helped. Okay, but yeah, limit the amount of fuss and just go around the facial area. I know I'm getting close to time now, so I'm going to just add a couple of these very, very quickly. And don't forget, I do, for about a week after a live, I do go back into that live video. And if there's any questions, I do answer them, but I only do it for about a week afterwards. So if I don't answer anybody's question tonight, then pop it in on there. And don't forget, put the date in your diary for 28th or 20, I think 29th, a spooky session. We're having everything cats. So answered Nancy's. Oh my goodness. AJ, is it possible to get an adult male cat to stop spraying? My foster cat was fixed about 5 weeks ago, but continues to spray everything. I've tried all the pheromone and calming products with no luck. Okay, so just because your cat has been neutered, his hormones will take a while to die down. Okay, and even when a cat has been neutered, they still have the hormones. It's just like a dimmer switch, that you turn it down but you don't turn the light off completely. So again, please, I'm not trying to drum up everybody to my TikTok, but I have got a cleaning protocol, and even on my YouTube channel, I think it's on there. It's just, I did this YouTube channel years ago, and it's not as engaging, I don't think, as the TikTok one, but it is there, and it's a cleaning protocol, and using two things. Now, it's called Clorox Pro, or Odicide in the States, and it's called Ideal 365 in the UK, followed by isopropyl alcohol, which you'll have in the States as well. So Clorox Pro and Odicide, and there's a particular cleaning protocol that you follow to get rid of all of those smells. You need a black light, one of these. It's not a black light because it's black, it just highlights any urine or anything like that. So you need to use one of these, and then go and find all the marked areas, and then you need to clean it. And then ideally you would put a food resource there, so maybe something like that, or a flying saucer that's got kibble in there that they can knock about, and they get used to the area of as being a resource for food rather than of a resource to spray. Spraying actually feels nice to the cats. They enjoy it, so they could be doing it. I would imagine he's been doing that as a sexual marker. If he's only just been neutered, a territorial marker, they can do it for anxiety, stress relief. There's lots of different reasons while cats will spray, and cats of both genders spray, by the way. Oh, Spiky Potato. Your name is Spiky Potato, inspired by the tenric that lives with us. Oh, Spiky Potato, that's so lovely. Bev says he's 100% a chonk. His ribs are hard to find. Okay, so your cat ribs should feel like a pencil case. Hugo, what do your ribs feel like? His don't feel like a pencil case at the moment either. Why doesn't my cat purr Great question, Ms. Anne. Thank you for joining us. Not all cats purr, and not all cats make a sound that resonates that we can hear. So it might be that your cat is purring, but you just can't hear it. So don't be offended if your cat or you can't hear your cat purring. Some cats just don't purr. It's like some cats just don't meow. They don't vocalize at all. It's not because they're mute. It's just because they don't need to, or they've chosen not to. Toy collector. You've got two cats. The names are Tony and Oscar. Oscar, oh, I see. Oscar somehow took off his collar. How? Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so Oscar doesn't like having a collar on, and he doesn't like you touching him. Oh, that's going to be a difficult one then. I mean, how did you get it on him in the first place? Or is it possible? Does he have to have a collar? Can he not be microchipped when you take him to the vets? This is the thing with collars as well. It's they have to have a safety release on them, otherwise obviously a cat's going to get into mischief. I don't know the answer to that. Unless you can get him into a cat basket, but he doesn't like you touching him. So I would ask yourself the question: does he need to wear a collar? Is it possible then you could get him to a vet to get him microchipped, or even get somebody out to the home to microchip them? If he really doesn't like being touched, then maybe you could try speaking to the vet. The vet may be able to prescribe a very, very mild sedative in order for you to get him along to the vet. You just add it to the food. So that's what I would do there. But I'd actually think about the why. Why does he have to wear a collar? Come back and tell me next time, or drop me a message. Daily cat walks on a leash. Oh, Erica's answering. Sometimes cat requests twice a day. That's absolutely lovely. So that was the answer to somebody saying, how often do you walk your cat? There's my comment there: activate supplement. Gator, she does have arthritis. When you brought her to vet, and she's getting monthly. Silencia is really, really good. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, it is an amazing wonder drug for cats, dogs with arthritis. So I'm going to take Basil, and when for cats that can't have because of liver and kidney function, they can't have regular pain relief, then Silencia is the way forward. So that's what I'm going to take Basil this week. Lilies and tulips are banned here. Oh, that's really, really good. TS, you've got a 7-year-old female tortie. Out of all your cats, she will fight and scratch whilst trying to get her into the large carrier for the vet visit. She's loving on her terms otherwise. Okay, again, over on my, I think it's on, it will be on my YouTube channel, but apologies about my YouTube. The earlier videos are just dire. But I've done a video on how to get a positive experience with cat carrier training, and it's all about start off getting a positive association with the blanket, and then move the blanket into the carrier. Take the top off the carrier first, so it's just an open space. You can give them treats in there, you can groom them. So what you need to do is, you don't want to have the issue where it's a fight every time to get your cat into the carrier. Make it a positive experience. And I talk about a similar thing with medicating. I regularly fill one of these up with Licky Licks and water, churros, I think they're called in the States, and give that to Hugo, and he'll come running for one of those. So if one day I have to actually medicate him, he'll just think it's a funny tasting churro. So do have a look at the videos on that. Okay. Esther, your kitty panther has green diarrhea, and I don't know what I should do. I would go to the vet with green diarrhea, definitely. Okay, because there's something there that is not good at all. Yeah, Biddy's just said there, good question for the vet. Yeah, Esther, do take your cat along to the vets. I know it sounds like we're passing the buck there, but I can't answer anything medical. But all I know is, if that was my cat and it had green diarrhea, I would be taking it to the vet. Okay, and hopefully then the vet will perhaps maybe take a little, if you can, sounds a bit horrible, but if you can take a fecal sample along, it really will help, because your vet then can decipher, obviously, eating something or something that's not agreed with it. Okay, I am going to answer this last question and then I'm going to say good night or good afternoon, whatever it is over there. Robert, hello. You've got a new kitty. His name is Vader. Vader. Oh, uh, he's jumping on walls. I'm planning. Vader is Sean. Jump on walls. I'm planning to make some shows for him. I play with him 4 times a day. That's absolutely brilliant. Oh, shelves. Yeah, that's great. Cat shelves. So this is obviously this is the IKEA I don't know, Kallax unit or something. People use those as shelves, little hidey holes. But cat walls are amazing. Go and Google cat walls and you'd be amazed at what they've got. You don't have to buy a boxed product for for a cat wall. You go and make your own. Honestly, just a really wide shelf. It could be the top of a bookcase. Make it nice and comfy with a bed and so on. That's brilliant. Jax, my cat has high anxiety. I adopted her almost 2 years ago. She was 10 years and she's scared of everything except being in my home. I'm worried bringing her to the vet will set her back. I promise you, speak to your vet about a mild sedative. I can't talk brand names, but please speak to your vet about that. Get yourself some pet remedy. And that's a calming wipe that literally goes in. You wipe the cats with it, go wipe the carrier with it. But a mild sedative, I promise, will make all the difference to your cat's perception of going to the vet, and it will reduce the stress for you too. I used to get so stressed of taking my Bengals to the vets. So now I just have an open conversation with the vet and say, can I have a mild sedative, please, just to make their visit. So it's their equivalent of a rather large gin and tonic going to the vet, and it's amazing. So you ask your vet for that, and then it will really help her. And then talking about anxiety, get her on this. Get her on that nutraceutical. It's not a pharmaceutical, and go and get some pet remedy. All these little things, they're like a cohesive approach. So it's a multimodal approach, and they all work really well to reduce anxiety in cats. So it's no good going, oh, I've just got a plug in, I'm just going to stick it in, and then it isn't working. You need lots of other things as well. So I really, really hope that helps. TS, you're welcome. It's been here's Hugo, star of the show. Absolutely. Now, I have taught Hugo to wave, but he's not going to do it tonight. Look at his face. He looks really cheesed off there. I was going to try and get him to wave earlier, and I did promise Beverly that I'd show a video of him waving. So I'll try and video it. And I think there's one on there. I think it's called Building Communication Skills with Your Cat. And that is on YouTube, Bev. So go and have a look for that. But I'm going to say thank you so much to all of you who have tuned in. I really appreciate you taking the time and asking some amazing questions, as always. And I will see you all again the end of October, and we'll talk everything spooky and anything else that you want to talk about. And please continue to drop any comments onto the video when it's finished. I know there's some questions that have just popped up. I'm really, really sorry. So can you, hi everyone, can you, because I'm not answering these questions, can you pop them in the chat box at the end of this live as a question, and I'll answer them there for you, I promise. So if I've missed anyone else, then pop your questions in. But thank you, you've all been amazing tonight or this afternoon, wherever you are, and put a note in your diary for next time. So what do we say, Bev? We say meow for now. All right, take care, everybody. Have a lovely day.